The Olympics make me not want to watch them. By the way, please hit the like button. We're going to get into a little more with Dolphins and Eagles, and also perception on Hurts that I think is pretty cool. So did you see real quick here? The Olympics are going to allow flag football. I think the 2028 games in Los Angeles. Flag football. And why do you think that is? Why do you possibly think that the Olympic Games have okayed flag football for the 2028? And be kind and don't be crazy with your responses. Please say why you think they're going to do it. Why do you think the Olympic Committee, no wheels, snot ratings? Why do you think the Olympics would allow flag football in the 2028 games? Be kind. Look at cue ball. It's for the politically correct people. The thing will be a freak show. For the politically correct players and athletes. Is that good, Sue? The politically correct people. I didn't say correct people. I said the politically correct people. Jesus. Well, then again, the Olympic Games. I mean, anybody that would give the Olympic Games to a Nazi, you got to always remember. And the guy was a brown shirt himself back in the day who ran the IOC. I mean, any time that you would have a committee like that support Nazi Germany, you just always have to remember it's politically driven now. That's why more people, or less people, I should say, are not watching it. I'm all for having stuff like that, but it's to kind of open the door more for the less than 1% of our country so that they can get, Hitler was awarded the Olympics and Winter Games that year. It's one of the very few times that the same country got the Summer and Winter Games. I mean, that's not there just for flag football. It's there to make a political statement. I mean, and then get this. You'll ban an athlete for smoking weed, but you'll go down the line of trying to figure out whether a guy is a woman or a woman is a guy. But you'll look at Richardson and tell her she can't participate in the Olympics because she smoked a joint. Jesus criminy. I'm more apt to go like this. I don't give a shit about the joint. I would say that. I don't give a shit about the joint. I want competitive and fair competition, not politically driven competition. That's terrible when politics gets involved in sports. All right, let's move on because that's a disgusting conversation that we'll be having a lot of as we get closer to that stuff. I care more about the integrity of sport than a damn joint. Absolutely. I don't give a shit about a joint. I could care less about a joint. I have no caring on that. And by the way, if it helps the athletes like the NFL players with their pain tolerance, let them get high all day. I don't care. I totally don't care. I do not care. Okay? So let me do this now. I'm going to show you something about your boy. Where is it here? I think this is pretty cool here. So I have a really good relationship with a lot of people in Atlantic City and also in Las Vegas, and they talk about who the guy is right now when it comes to the leaders in the clubhouse when it comes to potential MVP candidates. Hey, Sills. Does Big Pharma invest in the Olympics? Oh, my God. Pfizer will be all over this. You kidding me? Pfizer's going to be all over this, man. And then you know what Pfizer will do? Pfizer will politically, because Pfizer, the reason why you have this all going on in the world is because they invest in CNN, Fox News, and all of these mediums, so that when you start saying anything negative, whether you believe or don't believe in COVID or whether this and that, Tucker Carlson got fired for it. Tucker Carlson has said some of the most outlandish things before on Fox News, but when he went after Pfizer and Big Pharma, they whacked him. This country's driven by that. Pharmaceutical companies are gargantuan political activists in this country. They don't do what's right for our U.S. They do what's right for their bottom line and their stockholders. That's right. Follow the money, man. And get this. What they'll do is they'll make that thing so that you'll see half the team will be transgender flag football players so that the Olympics can have an agenda and pharmaceutical companies will have an agenda. This is not about sports anymore when it comes to that stuff. It's more about, like, how much money can you make off the pharmaceutical companies? All right, I want to show you something here about MVP race. And this is a collection of all the places in Atlantic City. I want to show you where Hurts is in this. Okay? I'm going to go from 10 up. Here is the race for the MVP in the NFL. Number 10, Joe Burrow has cracked the top 10 according to Vegas and according to Atlantic City. Number 9 is Justin Herbert. Why, I do not know. This isn't mine. This isn't mine. These are the bookmakers in Vegas and in Atlantic City. This is not me. So you got Burrow 10, Herbert 9, Trevor Lawrence 8. Oh, kind of. Jaguars. You've got Lamar Jackson 7, Ravens. You got McCaffrey 6, 49ers. You got Brock Purdy at 5, 49ers. Get this. We're now inside the top 5. Josh Allen 4, Buffalo Bills. Check this out. You got Jalen Hurts 3rd, according to Atlantic City and Las Vegas, on the top candidates to be the MVP this year. Mahomes 2 and Tagovailoa 1. So the way I look at it, if Jalen Hurts goes for 350 yards this game and 65 yards rushing, and he accounts for 4 touchdowns, you're going to erase. See, here's something that I think Jalen has going for him, even with the way we think he has played and the way that the plays have gone. If this is an MVP game, this is really not going to determine one way or the other in the NFC who's going to be the leading guy if you beat the Dolphins. If this game comes out and you lose this game 37-36, Am I going to come away? I'm going to go like this. Oh, they hung with a team that puts up a lot of points and is a Super Bowl contender. I'm going to learn more about the Dolphins than actually the Eagles in this game, because it'll be the first time they've actually played a good team. Okay? I'm going to learn a little more about them. But if Hurts outplays him, Hurts got to be one of the top candidates. He already is going into this game. The top 3 candidates for the MVP award right now, according to the bookmakers, are Hurts 3, Mahomes 2, Tua. I never would have thought that. I thought he had been further down. Get this. I would have thought Tyreek Hill would have been on this. I would have thought he would have been on this. So the people out there that put the money down are saying, hey, look, he's had a rocky start. But you know what they're also doing, like some of you in here are doing? They're looking at it like this. Okay, they're still 5-1, and he hasn't played his best football yet. Okay? Even the bookmakers are saying it. These are the true analysts. You know why? Because they put their money behind their thoughts and their takes. Get this. If Jalen Hurts has 3 less picks, he's probably the second to Tua. Guess what you got going on here, man? It's a big game for both these guys. I mean, I call it the Saban Bowl. Boy, can you get this? Think about these two men playing against one another on Sunday. This is so great. Most of you won't get it. You won't understand it. But this is a great moment for both guys. How many people remember that game when Saban was asked, didn't they take him out at half and put Tua in? He came out in the second half. And they benched the Southeastern Conference Player of the Year, and they put the freshman in. Am I right? Is that how that whole transaction act? And am I right? Or did that happen in the SEC title game? I thought it was in the SEC. I thought it was in the national title game. He got taken out in a championship game. Jalen Hurts. Tua was the national title. Tua goes in, and they win the national championship with him in a comeback. And there was Jalen being a great teammate. You could tell nothing was wrong. I swear to God, man, that was one of the moments I just went like this. Man, that kid's got something special about it, because I'd have been throwing my helmet. I couldn't handle myself. I wouldn't be surprised if Hurts plays his best game of the season. I'd be willing to bet getting benched for Tua lives rent-free in his mind. Yeah, but that's a driving force in his mind too, Tone. Jalen versus Tua, midseason MVP shootout. You bet, man. I am looking forward to how these two men handle this moment. This is something that's personal. This is a personal moment for Jalen Hurts. Jalen was benched in the national title game. However, Tua was benched for Hurts in the SEC title game the following year. That's right, he was. But didn't they put him back in? Tagovailoa in the national title game? That's true. That's a fact. The next year, Jalen came in and subbed for him. Right? I think this game, hey, just a thought. I'm with you. I think this game's personal for Jalen. I would say this to you. When the schedule came out, that Jalen Hurts probably circled this game more so than even wanting to play against Mahomes. This is so personal. You lose your starting job. You lose face. You lose, and there's a narrative about you. You can't throw, you're not accurate. He's been fighting that to this day. All the things that happened that night, he fights to this day. How could it not matter? How can it not matter? It's just not another game. This is the guy that was picked to take his place in the hierarchy on the #1 program in the country. It's not like he was playing at Temple. He was at the #1 program in the United States. And that night created a narrative on Jalen Hurts that he has fought his entire career to try to rip down. And on Sunday night, he could put that in his rearview mirror. I don't know how you don't think this will be internally personal to him. I say that this game here will be the best foot. You know what, man? I got to say this now. I got a feeling that this kid is going to go out here Sunday night, Hurts. And I think Tua, on the other hand, also knows that, hey, he got his bag of money. Here, let me go on the other side. I just hope Hurts doesn't try to do too much this week and end up forcing throws because of the past. That could happen. Get this. Now, if you're Tua on the other side, damn, Herbert got his money. Damn, Lamar got his money. Damn, Burrow got his money. Damn, even Daniel Jones got his money. Even Kyler Murray got his money. I didn't. This is a get your money game for him. What do you think the ratings are going to be for this game, Big Sales? Most viewed prime time of the year? Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't. You got 2 foot. This is going to be a freak show game. Really going to knock Tua out. I hope he takes him out. Hey, how about this? I would say this to you. If he breaks his arm, I'd rather have that than what we're talking that could happen. You know what I mean? And I don't even want to say it. I'd rather have you break his arm than have to worry about a concussion with him. Isn't that crazy? Can you get permission from Aunt Betty to let you curse and put money in a jar? Oh, man. Bear funny. Pretty funny stuff, man. How does it not resonate with both? Hey, the only way we win this game is to run the ball and keep the QB off the field, consistent pressure, and he's on the field. How about this, Steve-O? Let me say this to you, though. Well, that's not going to go with what the front office wants. You're damn right, man. My opinion? Hey, you know what? I wrote this down about the Dolphins. Hey, just some small notes here, kind of like a preview of it. I wrote this down. The Eagles, I think, have to be more balanced in this game. And I would say this to you, that the Dolphin defense is still a work in progress. I think it's a work in progress. Well, if it's a work in progress, I'm going to run at you. And I want to see if you could, like I said, when you get into a fist fight, do you want to box with a guy, or do you want to see if he can take a punch? Let's see if that guy can take a punch. Can the Dolphins take a punch? Bills punched them, and they kind of wobbled. Yeah, JM, they're third in pass rushing. They got one more sack ahead of the Eagles. I think it's 21 sacks. And the Eagles have 20 sacks heading into this game. They're third. But the other numbers are kind of pedestrian. Amount of yards given up. If you look at the amount of yards they give up total, they give up some numbers. But how they're doing it, isn't it crazy? Hey, Tone, everyone, isn't it funny? Vic Fangio's coaching his defense the same way Sean Desai's coaching his defense. You're giving up quite a few points. No, excuse me. You're giving up quite a few yards, but you're getting to the quarterback. Do I think the Eagles have a better defense? Chubb's good. Chubb's having a good year. But I think you're better. Nobody cares how many yards Hill gets as long as we win. But Anthony, no, but watch this, Anthony. Nobody cares how many yards A.J. Brown gets as long as you win. But your offense, for them not, you see, the way that they approach offense and the way you approach offense, you're trying to get the ball to open space with one guy. That guy, Mike McDaniel, tries every single design of the play that's called in a 10-play sequence is designed to get everyone open. That's the fundamental difference with Brian Johnson's one-read mentality versus this Mike McDaniel, who's looking to spread you out and get everybody open. He's a savant. The play designs, the more you watch him, the more you go and watch those. Watch a Dolphin game if you get a chance to watch a Dolphin game, and you get a chance, if you just don't even look at it defensively unless you want to look at what Fangio does on certain circumstances and certain situations, that'll help you out. But if you watch the way he gets guys open, even when the ball's not going to him, here's something else that really rags me about A.J. Brown when you watch the 22. Tone, I don't know if you've ever seen it. I'll tell you, man, if you're in that team meeting and you're Devontae Smith, I think you got to be getting a little bit more aggravated with A.J. Brown. I think Devontae's got to be a little bit more aggravated with him. Just him as a player and how he handles himself, how he conducts himself on the field. There's a negative quality about him. And I'm not talking about being a rah-rah guy, patting guys on the back. I'm talking about pouting. And here's what I mean by that. When you watch him and they design a play for Devontae on the other side, A.J. Brown takes the play off or goes 80% on the other side. And that's why Jalen Hurts is a one-read quarterback, because the other guy's not having a play designed for him to get open. There's a play designed to try to get Devontae open. So what's happened here? They know that A.J. Brown is not giving full max effort on the other side. So you know what they do? They just try to get him open using Devontae as decoy, and that's why his numbers are down. And so if I'm Devontae Smith, Shane Steichen didn't do that. Now you probably got the best A.J. Brown possible. And get this, I wonder if Tennessee knew this attitude and why they jettisoned him. I mean, you can see it on film. He goes 80%. I mean, he doesn't give full max effort on every play. Shit, we saw that even with a target to him where he stopped on the play. Can you imagine when the play's not going to him? Can you imagine when the play's not going to him, what kind of effort he gives when they're trying to get Devontae Smith open? That's a negative. And when you go into your position meeting and you watch that as a team and then you watch it as a group, you sit there and you see it. But Devontae's not going to say anything. But eventually, when you see the lack of how about this? The lack of quality targets. Like Tone has said, and like I pointed out a couple days ago, it's not about the amount and the volume. It's about the quality. And when you don't have quality targets like he doesn't, most of the targets that Goddard and him are double teamed or they're at the sidelines. They're not in open space like how many times you see AJ wide open? Why? Well, they're kind of still – teams are becoming less – they're looking at Devontae as a less threat because of the way the play calling is going. Okay? I mean, remember what AJ said too? Didn't he say this in the offseason? I've got to learn. Keon, didn't AJ say this in the offseason that he had to become a better, more complete wideout? Did he not say that? Well, that's part of being complete. Randy Moss did that shit. Hey, and get this. if I'm a defensive guy and I see the body language of A.J. Brown knowing that he's not going to get the ball, what am I going to do? I'm going to show blitz, jump the route, because I know where the ball's going. Pick, game, lose to a lesser team. And that's the coordinator. The coordinator is more one read than Jalen. Okay? The coordinator is. Because AJ doesn't want to help the other guys get open. He'll not even be he's at pace for like 75 catches. Last year he had 95. 20 less catches. Same amount of targets. What does that tell you? That Devontae's regressing? Or that the quality plays? Dude, that's a quality wide receiver. That's a quality wide receiver. 88 goes, that's fake news. Watch the film. Watch the film. He takes plays off. Shit, you get this. 88 just said this. That he goes like this, fake news. Did you not see him quit on a play that was targeted even to him on a touchdown throw? What do you think he does when he's on the backside of a play when it's not coming to him? You think he's engaged? AJ gives up only a few times. That's not what I'm saying. You're missing the point. I can't believe how many times people miss the point in here. Julio's the answer to all our problem cells. Even a few times is too many. Yeah, get this. That's a great point by Tone. Hey, man, what the hell? He only gives up a few times a year. $25 million a year guy quits on plays. What the hell? Who cares? You know, who cares, right? 88 quits on plays. Hey, man, you know. Yeah. Pay that guy all that money. Don't worry about it. And now here's your boy. Here's your boy coming to old man Jones coming to the line. Over here. Over here. Over here. Wait a minute, I gotta put I don't need a mouthpiece. I don't need a mouthpiece because I don't have any teeth. Hold on, I'm gonna fall down here. Jump ball? I can't jump over a stack of quarters. Wait a minute here. I don't need a mouthpiece. I don't have any teeth. What are you saying? Come on, son. Oh, man. Grandpa Jones. Hey, Tone. They just signed Grandpa Jones. Holy cow, that's funny, Dirty D. My hip. Okay? My hip. 34 was my last year in pro ball. No, 36 out. 38, I was a wrestler. Come on. I was in Canada at 34. Grandpa Jones. Over here. Hey, Sills, I know we joke about Julio a lot. Trust me, it's fun, but he is considered one of the best generation, and curious to know what you think he provides from a mental perspective in the room. Hey, at the end of the day, dude, you didn't sign Julio Jones. So you're signing what? We need another coach? What does he bring? You think that coaching staff would listen to him? Do you actually think bringing Julio Jones in is going to matter in the coaching room? Nothing. Now, if you had a head coach in there and a wide receiver coach in there that knew what they were doing, you would allow this guy to sit there and maybe help out on some of the designs on the pass routes because he's run them all. He is a 7-time Pro Bowler. But that's not the type of organization you're going to. You can't get Goddard and Devontae open. What kind of insight does he bring? You know what he'll say? He'll go like this. Why are you designing these plays like this to get one guy open? So you mean to tell me they brought that guy in to help Brian Johnson out? Phew, that's kind of an indictment on OC, if that's why they brought him in. And you're asking him to help. Do you really think Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown need mental advising? Because if that's the case, that's exactly what I just said. A.J. Brown taking plays off on the backside. Julio Jones didn't take plays off. Yeah. Okay. So I can't wait. If that dynamic is going to exist in that locker room with a brand new dude in the room where, get this, his 7 Pro Bowls do bring some equity. Okay. That's an indictment on your OC. And maybe he can help on play designs and getting guys open. Not the current guy you're paying for. Oh. Jesus, criminy. So wait a minute. Tone, I get it, what you're saying, but more voices in the room? Who's the voice with clarity? Come on, Jalen. The quarterback has to have the voice of clarity. Not an old, broken down wideout. And get this. Dude, what he did in the past has no bearing on today. That's old news. That's old news. Now, if you're asking for me with respect, that if you allow him to come in and make an input, but are you really hiring him to be a coach? Or what's his role? Okay, so then what's his role? Is he going to take targets from Goddard, Swift, Devontae, and he's going to be involved in play calling or designs of offense? I'm just curious here. Why all this? Well, I keep asking the most important question. Why? Hey, get this. The people that consistently always go to the record are the people that will be disappointed once again at the end of the year when you're holding up a bronze or silver or a participation medal. Nobody cares what your record is. How well are you playing? Do you have a Super Bowl team? Let's say this to you. You think your team's better than last year? Do you think your team's better than last year? How many people think this team's better than last year? Answer. Purdy goes, no. 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 Then how are you going to win a Super Bowl? That's what I talk about here. That's all we're talking. Hey, 22-2. And you don't think you're a Super Bowl team. What's the point? What's the point? Jubba thinks his team is better this year than last year. When your pass defense is one of the worst in the league. Last year, you had a top 10 defense. How can that be? How can you systematically say that? Hey, another fabulous point by Tone. Red zone says otherwise. Now, you know what? Something that people have been bringing up to me that watch the show on a daily basis that are people like Brian Baldinger. You know what Baldinger said to me? He goes, Sills, I checked into the show. Got to tell you something. Scoring's down across the league, and so is red zone scoring. It's at a 10-year low. The defenses this year in the league are better. And I took that into an account. You know, this may not just be an Eagle thing. This is across the board in the league. Okay? It's across the board that you're seeing defenses catching up, especially in scoring defense, and that's red zone offense. Okay? So you're seeing more of that. You know what I'm saying? And that comes to the coordinators now knowing how to stop these guys. Because you know why? You know why it's easier? Do you know why would you think that the coordinators have caught up to some of the teams in the league? Why would you think that? That may be true, but to drop from the top of the league, that's right, Tone. The pitfall is too far of a fall. It is. Okay? And the time, yes, it's you don't go from second to 25th in pass defense. I get it. I mean, that's quite a leap. I mean, that's quite a fall. Okay, and then also the red zone offense. Two things that have been completely different this year on your team have been your red zone offense and your pass defense. And that's been why the team right now is not playing Super Bowl quality team. It's not playing Super Bowl quality football. You're not a Super Bowl team. You're like the Cowboys. You'll be a 12, 13-win team, not go anywhere. Or you'll be like the Vikings last year. 22-2 with nothing to show for it. What's the point? What's the point? 22-2. Nothing to show for it. Hey, we're kind of good. No, we're kind of really good. That's who you are right now. You're kind of really good. You have absolutely nothing to show for it. Who's a Super Bowl quality team? Kansas City, because they have the quarterback and the coach. This Dolphin team, I think we're going to find out. I'm starting to believe in Detroit because they have the best win in the NFC this year of any team, including the Niners. Who have you beaten? Who have they beaten? They beat a team you can't beat. And you've had two shots at them. Hey, Tone, can I get that $4.99 posted, please? I want to make sure because I missed it. God forbid we get another offensive injury. Jalen got to get better. Support with managing the backup players to help the team. We'd be 0-6 if we had Gannon still. I don't think 0-6. But your defense would not be in a position that it's in. Okay? Dirty D. Okay? The Lions have the best win in the NFC of any team. You can't post a better win. I mean, the Bucs, they beat the Chiefs in the opener in Kansas City. I don't know. You've had two cracks at that team and you can't beat them. Jared Goff went into KC and outplayed Mahomes. That's a quality win. That's funny. You know what's crazy? People will go, hey, who do you think looks more like a Super Bowl contender right now? The Lions or the Eagles? I think that's a great question. And just because you went there last year, I'm talking right now. And one game after you lost, they beat them. Chandler just needed to be better than Quez. Done. Hey, you lost to the Chiefs. The next game, they lose to the Lions. At home. Lions look like a Super Bowl contender. They got to prove it in the postseason. They're going to run away with that North Division. They're going to run away with it. By the way, Aiden Hutchinson, holy shit. That guy's trending to be the Defensive Player of the Year. I can't believe it. Every time I see him, he's in the backfield, making plays, running down tackles, deflecting passes. He's starting to look like Nick Bosa. Okay? It's a great thing. What will we B-Sills take after the Dolphins lose? You're back on track. I'll bury the lead. You're back on track. You beat the Dolphins, you're back on track. You lose? I'll even give you this. If you in a shootout with them and lose, and hey, get this, like I said, the Jets loss, I don't think any lesser of you. You're still one of the top 2 teams in the NFC. The Lions have a really great win. I don't know, though. I want to see more. There's just too small of a sample size for me to go, that's a good look. Do I think they're better than Dallas? I do. I do think they're better. Fly, what does 0 Super Bowl appearances have to do with a defensive end? He doesn't throw the ball. He doesn't catch it. What's that got to do with him? What does that have anything to do with him? Are you trying to suggest you have somebody on your team better than Nick Bosa? That would be a lie. And made up and phony news. Look at this. JM goes, Detroit does not have a great win. So he thinks going into KC on opening night when they drop the banner is not a big win. Spoken with good authority there. So what's your big win? The Bucks? Seriously then, JM. JM, what's your big win this year? The Lions have a win against Kansas City. What's the Eagles' biggest win this year? Curious. Because I think there's a case to be said for the Dolphins. What's their biggest win? I don't know. Maybe the Rams? So you're putting the Rams in the category of the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs. The Rams. The 3-3 Rams, and the 5-1 Chiefs. Okay. Well, then 5-1 doesn't matter, does it? If you think that, then stop bringing your 5-1 up, because it doesn't. So it's okay to say that your biggest win is against the Rams, even though they're 3-3. And the Lions beating a 5-1 Chiefs team, you're going to put that on the side of your aisle and go, well, the Rams are better than the Chiefs. Solid take. Seals, the Lions won week 1 against a beat-up team. How is that the Lions' issue? And you're hanging your hat on beating a 3-3 Rams team. Terrible. Unbelievable. We beat the Rams and the Bucks. And the Lions beat the Chiefs on opening night. They didn't have Chris Jones. They weren't hurt. Chris Jones wasn't there. Holdout. Kelsey was a little hurt going into that game. He still played well. As I told you a couple months, for the last couple months, I think Kansas City's beatable. But you haven't proven it yet. You've played them 2 consecutive years, and they beat you at your place and in the Super Bowl. Those are facts. That's not made up. You can't beat Andy. Why? It's not your players. It's your coaching. It's your administration getting in the way. Picking coaches. Empowering coordinators to think that they're as important as Jalen Hurts is laughable. It's a great comment about how these superstar quarterbacks today get anything they want. You know, you change out the coordinator in Baltimore, and he won an MVP with the previous guy. He wanted more spread open offense. The quarterback did. You ever hear John Harbaugh talk shit on Lamar? Never. He understands job security. Just remember something, man. Beat KC. Actually, this will tell me a lot this week about the Dolphins. Oh, so the Lions don't have a good win. And you have a better win with a 3-3 Rams team. In week 1 on the road. Okay, let's do this. Who has a worse loss? Who did the Lions lose to? Who'd they lose to? The Lions. Who did the Lions lose to this year? They're 5-1 too. Did they lose to Seattle? Who'd they lose to? It can't be anything worse than what happened on Sunday. So you lost to the 32nd worst passing offense in pro football. And they lost, was it in Seattle? Was it in Seattle or was it at Detroit? At home, okay. In Detroit. That's a tougher place to play in Seattle. And that's something that the Eagles have to do. And I don't know what your record is against Seattle going up there since 2000. That's a tough place to play up there in Seattle. That's going to be quite a test. Every team struggles going up there. I don't know why. It's a tough-ass journey to get up there. The whole thing, man. It's a pain in the ass. Maxon, they lost in overtime? So they lost in overtime to Seattle. And you lost to the Jets and Zach Wilson. How about this? If you don't want to even give them the quality win of the Chiefs, you surely have the shittier loss. Detroit's good. How good? I'm not there yet to go. Could Detroit beat Philly or San Francisco? I don't know, man. I'm not there. I'm not there. Okay? I'm not there. You keep moving the goalposts. You said our best win against the Rams. Who's the best team? You said last week. I was talking about Detroit, though, too. Anyway, Prince, all good. Philly 500 is going to join me at 5:30 Eastern time. Hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Football and Hooters, the perfect pair.